ride, a little bit high on the feeling. Can't seem to focus. In the corner of my best friend's sofa, you were getting buzzed on rum and cola. Wasn't brave enough yet just to talk to you. Not a smooth talker under pressure. Sweaty palms ain't making it much better. Something about you feels so special. Pretty up from the minute that...
Hello my dear viewers! Welcome to another episode of Learning Tips with Teacher Sheng. For today's video, I'm going to share to you some video editing tips for beginners. Like you, I also struggle in making video lesson, which is a new challenge in our new normal setup in education. Making video lessons will make our students well engaged, whether it is online or offline. Since we are also making our video lessons for our COT or classroom observations, it's time for us to level up our video lesson. So, let's start! Tip number 1. Choose the right software. The first step in improving your video editing process is to choose the right software for you and your work. They normally offer everything you need to perform standard video edits, but you prefer one over others for their usability, digital interface, and features. The key here is to choose what works for you and your editing style instead of just the latest, most advanced video editing program out there. There are a lot of video editing apps that we can use, and what I can suggest is to choose what suits you best and what suits your needs. Some examples of video editing apps are the following. For beginners, you can use the following apps, which are very easy to use and user-friendly. You can use KineMaster, Cyberlink Power Director, VlogU, Splice, and iMovie. For level up video editing skills, you can use the following video editing apps for professionals. You can use Wondershare Filmora, VSDC Free Video Editing, Adobe Premiere Elements, Adobe After Effects 2021, and Final Cut Pro. Remember, there are a lot of other video editing apps, but you have to choose what suits you best. Tip number 2. Use a fast computer or devices. You can choose whatever computer or cell phone brand or model you want as long as it's fast enough for you to store huge files and allows you to focus more on your editing work without having to worry about slow rendering. It definitely helps to invest in a faster storage drive or SD card that will allow you to access your files and software faster, as well as speed up your rendering, loading, and exporting times. Tip number 3. Watch video editing tutorials. YouTube, blogs, and educational websites are full of useful tutorials for creating great video content. Most of the tutorials you'll find out there are free, which makes them even more accessible. Everything that you need to know about video editing skills can be found in YouTube. Tip number 4. Obey the 3-2-1 rule. Video editors using any program should practice the 3-2-1 rule. Keep 3 copies of everything you created in at least 2 different places, with one of those places physically separated from your other location. You can also use your Google Drive to store your video content. Tip number 5. Edit for a story. You have to be creative, go beyond the basic, use your practical and technical knowledge, and follow a storyboard to make a video lesson. You can follow a storyboard or outline before you proceed in filming your video lessons. You can start by planning, organizing your thoughts, and then filming. Tip number 6. Color correct your clips. Color is a major design element that can be manipulated to highlight certain subjects, evoke specific emotions, and set the mood or atmosphere of your scene. Choose light colors or pastel colors to highlight your beauty and handsomeness. As much as possible, avoid black or dark colors as your background. Tip number 7. Select good music. Don't just focus on the visual. It should only be as good as your music. Good music can set up the mood of the learners. Get music from a royalty-free music provider. You can also download free music from the KindMaster. There are a lot of musics that you can choose from. So, download now! Tip number 8. Add text, graphic, and images. You may also want to include more text aside from the title, opening, closing billboards, used for broadcasting, and film credits. You'll usually want to keep it simple with a clean and white sans serif font that doesn't grab too much attention. Have them dissolve in and out and see how it works for your film. You can also add some graphics and images from Canva for education. There are a lot of graphics and images that you can use from their website. Feel free to use them in your video lesson content. Tip number 9. Export web versions. Once your video is done and ready to be exported, the natural tendency of the most editors is to export it at the largest video resolution possible. Video projects are usually marketed online and on social media, so you can also export smaller, high-quality versions for easier playback. Tip number 10. Invest in tools and equipments. You can start buying the most affordable equipment, then upgrade later based on your video making needs. This is what you call the starter pack if you want to start your video editing journey. You may opt to use the camera or cell phone. You need to have tripods, lighting or ring light, color grading panels, or green screen. You can also make use of your DIY tools and equipment so that you have a user-friendly tools. While these tips don't exactly teach you how to make edits to your video clips, they can help you cut your editing time in half and help you produce better results in the end. So, enjoy your video editing journey! See you again in our learning tips with Teacher Sheng. Bye!